Well, the United States are looking for a 6th She Believes Cup trophy win in 8 tournaments. They haven't lost in this tournament since 2017 and haven't been scored against since March of 2020. Things have gone well so far for Vlatko Andonovski's side, and it's even better for him tonight because he has Rose Lavelle back, who started the year so well, so influential in those 2 games in New Zealand, scored 2, got a couple of assists as well, and then missed these first 2 games with an injury.
Yeah, and you saw the midfield love they were giving her right there. You're back, they're back as their 3. And so you got Andi Sullivan and Lindsey Horan, and it's going to be interesting because Rose will play in that solo 10 as they've been doing as of late. Lindsey Horan dropping a little bit deeper, helping in the build-out.
As for Brazil tonight, they're making 4 changes from the side that lost against Canada in Nashville on match day 2 on Sunday. Debinha is their goal scorer in this tournament, a 1-0 win that they had in Orlando in their opener against Japan, the 31-year-old who plays for Kansas City, current in NWSL. Well, Vlatko Andonovski was using this tournament to get valuable minutes for some players, to continue to build the connectivity within his team, and also as a run-through for the World Cup in playing so many games in such a short period of time. And so far, so good for Vlatko Andonovski, who will have learned a fair bit about his team, especially when they overcame that challenge that they faced against Japan and were made to feel uncomfortable for a while in that game in Nashville at the weekend.
There was a lot of uncomfortable in that game, which is always a good thing when it's in preparation for the World Cup.
And we are underway here in Frisco, Texas, the final match of the 2023 She Believes Cup, and the United States know that with a win, a draw, or even a 1-goal loss, they will be lifting the trophy come the end of the night, up against a Brazil side that started the tournament with a win, but were then beaten by 2-0 by Canada in their second match. US in the blue, and Andi Sullivan in possession here as she goes all the way back, and Alyssa Nair is in goal today, with Casey Murphy having got the clean sheet, being given that start at the weekend in Nashville. US with 4 clean sheets in a row to start 2023 after conceding in 5 straight games to end 2022. So far in this World Cup year, they've scored 12, yet to give up a goal. And it really has been the year of Mallory Swanson. 6 goals already, and we're not even at the end of February.
She has just been in a form that honestly I've never seen of her. We've known Mallory Swanson has such an upside, but this is a form where she's just consistently getting in front of goal, and not just getting there, finishing.
And they certainly needed that finish from her at the weekend, having been under pressure a lot in the first half. Carolina striding forward, the North Carolina Courage player, into the middle towards Bia Zanerato as Brazil tried to get some momentum early in this one. And it'll run behind for a goal kick here. Decent crowd inside Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Pia Sundhage turned 63 last week, the Swedish coach, who of course was a former US national team head coach, almost 5 years in charge of the US, won Olympic gold twice, runner-up at the World Cup in 2011 as well. That's a free kick right on halfway, given by the Canadian referee, Marie-Soleil Bourdoin, who is the referee in charge of this one tonight.
A little bit of early tussle.
Tainara with the challenge there that was penalised by Marie-Soleil Bourdoin. He is one of the 2 Canadian referees headed to this summer's World Cup. Swanson will chase onto this one. Lauren going across, it's her second start in a row. The defender who plays for Madrid CFF in Spain. Down that line they go with Morgan trying to get something going. They'll get a corner on the far side, and Mallory Swanson will be heading across to take it.
And this is an area, as we just talked about, Luke, that Vlatko Andonovski and his staff have really targeted. They feel they just haven't been very productive from set pieces. 1 set piece goal in their last 11 games. In fact, the last one was July in the CONCACAF W Championship.
Plenty of movement in the box as it came in towards the front post. All the way out here for Crystal Dunn, who will have a go! Off the post it goes. Took a deflection on the way through, and it's another corner.
So difficult for Brazil with so much traffic in front of Lorena. And then you have the deflections to deal with as well. Gets super lucky because Brazil comes out pretty quick, does a good job. Then I believe it was Lauren who got that final deflection to save what was a good look for the United States.
Swanson will take the corner once again, this time from the opposite side. In towards Sauerbrunn at the back post. And the US battling for it over there with Dunn, who went very close to getting her first goal for her country since she scored against Trinidad and Tobago back in October of 2018. Played 45 minutes against Canada. Gets the start again today. And Brazil will build out from the back. Downfield towards Bia Zanerato, the Palmeiras attacker. Caroline. Ari of Racing Louisville in NWSL. She'll get it back and cut out there by Rose Laval, but it falls back for Brazil to maintain possession. They won the Copa America last July, beating Colombia in the final. Didn't concede in that tournament. That's what qualified for them for the World Cup and also the 2024 Olympics.
Hard foul by Adriana in midfield. 3 of the 4 midfielders for Brazil playing in that NWSL. Ariana, as you mentioned, Luke playing and heading over to Orlando. Play alongside Marta there.
Rose Lavelle brings this one down. Played forward for Rodman down the right side, and the ball through the middle finds Swanson chasing, but Lorena quickly out of goal. Her 20th appearance for her country, and Germa will play the ball across to Sauerbrunn. Megan Rapinoe full of praise for Naomi Germa and just how quickly she has been able to adapt to the international game. Lavelle's ball forward, just cut out there on the way through towards Swanson. Megan Rapinoe saying the last player that she saw come into the US women's national team and just look as if she'd been there her whole life was probably Julie Ertz. And Naomi Germa has come in and hit that standard within the first few appearances for her country.
Yeah, she talked about not only the fact that she's fast and she can play, she's this great leader. She said she's going to be the future of this team. And then in typical Rapinoe fashion, she said she's effing good.
Well,
pretty much sums it up.
Vlatko Andonovski was full of praise for Germa as well when we talked to him, and he talked about her pass completion of 95% on Sunday, but he said it's not just the pass completion, it's the passes and the direction that she goes. She goes forward, she's comfortable passing on the dribble as well. So that's something to watch for tonight. This is Rose Lavelle, down that left side, able to find Swanson cutting in, and the cross will go straight towards Lorena.
Good news for the United States, though. Rose Lavelle finding that little half space in between the midfield. Here's a touch earlier. Midfield and that back line of Brazil. And when she can do that, gets on a half turn and can find her forwards. There it was Rodman. Before that, it was Mal, Swanson. Good things happen for the United States.
Well, here come Brazil as they get towards the edge of the area there with Bia Zanerato.
And this is the thing about Brazil. They are going to counter press and come at you fast. When they win that ball back, they're not taking 20 passes, knock it around. They're looking to get forward as quick as possible. With no pressure, Zanerato says, why not? I'm going to keep going. No one's stepping.
Now played in once again to the edge of the box. Davinha with the chance, and listen there, able to make the save. And Brazil with a couple of early opportunities here in Frisco. Two of their more experienced players causing problems up top. Zanerato, 29-year-old, over 100 caps, has played at 3 World Cups. And of course, Davinha, who we know all about started every game at this She Believes Cup.
Here is the giveaway. And Debinha shapes it up, knows she's got a window here, really should do better with that one. She's gonna know that. You only get so many looks on this U.S. defense. And when you get a look like that, you gotta make it a save that Nayer's gotta really extend for.
Debinha with 6 years at North Carolina Courage, a two-time NWSL champion. Won the Shield 3 times. She was the MVP in the championship game in 2019. Dunn on the left side, now Horan. The US dispossessed here as Sullivan was doing well to get back, and Girma plays it up towards halfway. But this is a decent start as Raffaelli goes backwards towards Lauren. Brazil will be happy with the way things have gone through almost 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you're seeing that they're taking a page from what Japan did against Brazil. You get that press higher up the field, you put that back line under pressure, and as we saw in the last game, Japan having a lot of success with that, particularly in the first half. Brazil taking a page from that book.
Caroline turning on halfway against Morgan and then playing the ball through where it's cut out by Girma. Girma inside for Horan. Rodman is wide on the right, had made the early run. Horan will find her now. She's done well there in a tight situation, and the challenge comes in from Adriana. It's a free kick as we head downstairs to Melissa Ortiz.
I am hearing what head coach Vlatko Andonovski is dictating, and he says when the ball is in the middle of the pitch and U.S. women's national team has possession, he wants Rose Lavelle to be higher up the pitch and Trinity Rodman to get out wider.
Yeah, that's the half seam we were talking about there, that space.
Here is Lavelle driving towards the edge of the penalty area. Now it's Rodman. Rodman's cross low and off the foot of Raffaelli for a corner here.
Well, there you go, Melissa. Rodman wide. Rose Lavelle getting a little bit higher, and it pays off.
Rose Lavelle loves the freedom of this role as the lone number 10. Vlatko Andonovski says that also helps the press of this team, having her in there. Said she's felt good after the last few days of training. We'll see how much they can get out of her tonight as this ball is played into the middle. Dunn was waiting on the edge of the box.
Dunn eager to get that second ball coming out. Planting herself on the top of that box. I don't love the way the Brazilians shape up in those corner kicks. We'll get another attacking one. We'll talk about that a little bit more. I'm not a big fan of the full zone defense on corners.
That went out off Nicoli for a throw on the far side for the United States. The only two occasions that the US haven't won the She Believes Cup are 2017, France were the winners, England in 2019. The US looking to win it for a fourth straight year here. Caroline with some space. Back to Raffaelli, who plays for Arsenal in the WSL. She scored a goal against Manchester City in the final game before the international break. Ultimately, it was a defeat for Arsenal that day as Manchester City went above them in the standings. Tamira's down the left, the Corinthians left back. Lavelle, backwards for Fox, who starts on the right today, having seen plenty of action on both sides already this year. You hear the shouts of shield it there as Girma was trying to watch that one over, but Sullivan will be able to bring it away down the right side. Closed down there by Debinha.
Brazil doing a good job of just getting numbers quickly in that counter press. As soon as they lose the ball, they're getting numbers around the ball, making it uncomfortable for the U.S.
Sauerbrunn has to hammer that one away, but it's closed down by Ari. Dunn on the far side. Dunn does really well against Nicoli to get away. Support here from Sullivan. Back for Sauerbrunn. Sauerbrunn back into the starting lineup tonight, having started the first game and played 90 minutes against Canada and then sitting out against Japan.
Talking to Pia Sundhagen yesterday and looking at this wide shot with how compact that 4-4-2 is. She said the key against the United States is you just cannot give them space. This is a woman, as we pointed out, that knows the U.S. very well, having coached the U.S. for 2 gold medals and a runner-up finish in a World Cup. She said you give them space, then their speed will kill you.
Alyssa Nair plays this one along the floor to Dunn on the far side. Lindsey Horan, the Lyon midfielder in France, back for Sauerbrunn. And now here's Sullivan. That one falls apart a little bit as Ari brings it forward. Brazil moving it quickly out to the left for Adriana. Coming forward down the left side from the full-back position is Tamires. And it goes out off Mallory Swanson for a throw. Space for Caroline once more in that midfield as she dances towards the penalty area and then plays through for Debinha, and it's a corner for Brazil.
And not that NWSL fans need any reminders, but the beauty of Caroline in midfield and her ability to solve pressure and tight spaces and get through that midfield, having a lot of success in these first 15 for Brazil.
Caroline entering her second season with North Carolina Courage. 6 goals, 4 assists last year. A couple of assists on Debinha goals. Played in towards that penalty spot from Tamires, and then it's driven in by Ari. Brazil appealing for another corner, but the goal kick is the decision given by referee Marie-Soleil Baudouin. There is Pia Sundhage, the coach who eliminated the US with Sweden on penalties in the 2016 Olympic quarter-final. Took over Brazil after the 2019 World Cup and has won 33 matches of the 52 she's taken charge. We saw in the pre-game show the presentation yesterday here after training where Marta was giving that jersey with the number 50 on the back to their coach to recognise that landmark of 50 games in charge. Thrown quickly down the left, but the referee is pulling this one back and giving the throw to Brazil as Swanson was looking to get Horan going down that left side. No issue with Lindsey Horan and minutes being monitored during this tournament. Vlatko Andonovski pointing to the fact that she's really the only player in the middle of her season.
That she can handle the slog of 3 games and a lot of travel. I think she would agree with that. I think the U.S., again, given the opportunity to reset here, come together, and one of the things they're going to look at, because Brazil plays such a transitional style, which the U.S. likes to play because of their speed. So it's just transition to transition to transition. Is there a way for the United States to get a hold of the ball? It's one thing that Lindsey Horan has talked a lot about, and the balance of wanting to be a team that's great in the counter and great in transition, but also a team that can withstand the pressure and hold the ball a little bit more, be a little more patient, dictate more of the tempo of this game.
Vlatko Andonovski said no issue with minutes. She's in season, and she did have a bit of a break in each game. 88 minutes against Canada and 85 against Japan, so not much of a break.
Yeah, I gave you a rest.
The high ball forward should come straight through to Alyssa Nair in goal. 89th appearance for Alyssa Nair. Fox backwards for Germer. The US now know that they will play Portugal in their 3rd group match in the World Cup this summer in Auckland on August the 1st. They already knew they were in a group with Vietnam and the Netherlands. They're the first 2 games. But we're waiting for the winner of the playoffs, and Portugal beat Cameroon with a stoppage time penalty in the playoffs to reach their first ever World Cup. Been out in the group stage of the last 2 Euros. But it was a dramatic finish there, with Cameroon thinking that they tied it in the 90th minute, and then a penalty given by VAR, and Portugal were through right at the end of that game.
Exciting finish, and exciting for the United States to finally know what that group is. Then you've got the 5th CONCACAF team and Haiti making it to this expanded field of 32 teams to the World Cup. That was great news.
Yeah, great to see them beat Chile by 2-1, although they're in a difficult group coming up with England, Denmark and China. But Vlatko Andonovski said that he'd not really given any consideration to that third group game. All of his preparation at the moment was to Vietnam and Netherlands, but obviously they've been monitoring what has been going on and they'll start to prepare that now. Morgan's flick towards Swanson. Across goes Lauren to put it out of play. Things yet to really get going for the United States as an attacking force after almost 19 minutes of this one. Horan's ball forward. Rose Lavelle was onside, and the flag stayed down anyway. But she just couldn't make the connection there.
And that's such a hard run to track from midfield, and that first touch lets her down a bit. Good ball in by Horan to see that as well.
Raffaelli across the back to Tainara, who plays for Bayern Munich in Germany. Ari back for Tainara. Brazil with 10 clean sheets in their last 13 games. The only goals they've given up have been in 3 games they've played against Canada, twice in November and then on Sunday in Nashville.
As like Canada has their number. Also at the Olympics.
Yep.
Lost in penalty kicks.
Raffaelli, the 31-year-old. Tamirez down the left side, 137th appearance for her for Brazil. Back for Tamirez now. Corinthians defender across the back to Lauren, who makes her second start in a row. Cut out there by Emily Fox. Fox with a first-time ball through, too far in front of Morgan, but this is Trinity Rodman picking it up. Swanson is making a run down the middle. That was just too far in front of Mallory Swanson. It took them a while to get going as an attacking presence on Sunday after that incredibly fast start in the first match of this tournament against Canada, when they had 69% of possession in the opening 10 minutes. They had 5 shots, they had 1 goal. Rodman down the right side. Rodman's ball into the box. Swanson. Rodman once again, and this is straight towards the keeper, Lorena. Against Japan, they were outshot 15-5. It's not often the US find themselves outshot in a game.
Yeah, and the possession stat is the one that actually surprised me the most, because it felt like Japan had a lot of that game, and they actually were about even in possession stats. It's one of the things Vlatko Andonovski said when he said, look, the team has to be comfortable with not having that possession, and then we go into a little bit of a mental funk when we don't dictate the tempo, and sometimes it's okay.
Horan's ball forward, Lavelle stretching to get there.
And again, this is the area that they have been focused on, and that final third, just a little bit, everything seems a little bit off. That final pass, that final step, the cross, as you saw Trinity Rodman going straight to Lorena, the goalkeeper.
Lauren at the back as Brazil look to play their way out of trouble here. Morgan was doing the initial press, and they get a chance here. Alex Morgan still down at the moment. Oh, on the hand.
Oh, geez, that hurts.
Alex Morgan playing 62 minutes against Canada and then 70 against Japan. This her 4th start of the year.
You could see Alex Morgan waiting for that pass, and as soon as it goes, it's a trigger to release and press, and they had some success there. They pick it up in the midfield. But I think this is an area the U.S. could get measurably better in terms of the timing of the press, when they go, the whole team going, stepping together. I mean, all those things take, it's almost a choreographed dance at times. and it takes some time, but that's where they really had some issues against Japan, and you're not seeing them able to really put this Brazil team under pressure. And we know if you can put this Brazil team under pressure, they can cough up the ball in the back. They can make poor decisions.
Just past the midway mark of the first half of the final game in the 2023 She Believes Cup. And after stops in Orlando and Nashville, it's Frisco, Texas, where this tournament comes to a close. And the US 0-0 with Brazil. Chances at a premium in the opening 23 minutes of this game. Brazil last in the She Believes Cup in 2021. They finished runner-up with 6 points. Beat Argentina and Canada and lost to the US. Goals from Press and Rapinoe. In fact, that was the most recent meeting between these teams. It was in Orlando back in 2021. The US have won their last 5 in a row against Brazil and are unbeaten in the last 7. Here's Fox. Fox has played the most minutes of anyone through the opening games of 2023. Mallory Swanson not far behind. Girma at the back. She led the team with 123 tackles against Japan. Second straight start for Girma, who missed the opener with an injury. Fox getting across here to get to the ball. Swanson inside for Sullivan. And out to that left flank it goes for Lindsey Horan, and there's some space here for her to bring it forward. Horan straight through towards Lavelle. Would have been a fantastic ball if she'd managed to connect there, but Horan on the ball again, does find Lavelle this time. Little bit of space for Rose Lavelle. Rose Lavelle once again, lovely pass through for Lindsey Horan. Horan towards Morgan. And the flag goes up for offside anyway, so it wouldn't have counted.
Fantastic combination play between Horan to Lavelle, back to Horan, who finds Alex Morgan. And I think actually Horan could have been a little more selfish. There is that offside position just ahead of the ball for Alex Morgan. Maybe could have been a little bit more selfish and took it herself.
In the first match of the day, we saw Japan beat Canada by 3-0. Including a goal from June Endo of Angel City to wrap things up in the second half. It was 2-0 at half-time for Japan.
Also drew the penalty.
She did. She played well.
Out, Luke.
Yeah, good footwork for the penalty.
I thought that was a penalty, actually. I disagreed with Bees.
Yeah, Bees wasn't having it, but...
Yeah, he was like, nah, I don't know. You were like, no, you do know.
Played forward for Rodman down this right side for the US, but now picked up in the midfield by Ari. Ari down the left, couldn't link up there with Debinha. Bit disjointed so far. That move we just saw there that ended with the offside flag was the best we've seen from the US going forward by far. And here's Horan on the ball once more. Dunn is in an advanced position down the left side as Sauerbrunn brings it forward. Horan trying to get Dunn moving down that left touchline up against Tainara. Tainara can't get a foot in there as Swanson will get into the box. Brazil calmly playing it towards the edge of the area. Tamirez up the touchline. Fox puts it straight back towards Lavelle. Tamirez with the challenge once again, and she's able to bring it forward here. Horan with the challenge as Brazil give up possession. Horan up against Caroline.
And you're seeing Horan in particular and Rose and that midfield three really start to grow into this game, starting to dictate some of that possession. Here is the Horan ball out to Dunn earlier. Dunn in a really high position. I think it's a good no call by the referee there. You heard the crowd give a roar. Let's take another look at it. She got ball on that. Maybe if Mal Swanson would have sold it maybe a little more, she could have perhaps gotten a second look.
Here is Lavelle in towards the edge of the area, plays it through for Swanson. Too much pace on that one. Lorena was there anyway, the goalkeeper, but there was not really any chance that Mallory Swanson could get on the end of that.
And this is the beauty with a little bit more fluid three in the midfield that Andonovski has talked about. You see Haran drop down more to help in the build-up, also help defensively, but it gives her the freedom to really find the game.
Haran chasing to close down Tainara on the far side. Lauren. Here's Sullivan carrying forward. Out for Haran on the far side, just able to keep it in play there. Haran finds Dunn. Dunn in a fairly central position. She's lost out there to Bia Zanerato. And Bia Zanerato gliding past Rose Lavelle. Really positive play here from Brazil. Slid into that right side, then ball across goal. Debinha was rushing in to try and get on the end of that one as Caroline had strided forward.
And this all starts from way back here. Look at Zanerato. Deceptively with her pace to just, Rose Lavelle bites. She's going to keep going. No one's going to step. Good ball out to Caroline, the other midfielder running through. Oh, and that is a good look. Just wide and lucky for Nair. No deflection from Girma.
Brazil causing some problems here through the opening half an hour of this one in Frisco.
But really too easy right through the center of that midfield for the United States.
Here's Zanerato trying to squeeze that one through. Morgan trying to hold it up. She gets fouled.
Another look at Caroline.
That's the AT&T 5G netcam. And there you see if there was any kind of spill. If it had taken a touch on the way through. Debinha was right there in the middle. This is a much more similar side to the one that played on match day 1 against Canada. Just a couple of changes, Girma for Cook and Lavelle for Sanchez. But 6 changes from the team that started against Japan in Nashville on Sunday, including in goal with Nair coming in for Murphy. Sauerbrunn, Dunn, Sullivan, Sanchez and Rodman all back in today. Swanson, the only player to start every game so far for the US in 2023. And she's got some space here to turn. Rolled forward for Rose Lavelle. Morgan ahead of Lavelle as Lavelle tries to dance her way through. Raffaelli coming out of the back and has done really well, linking up with Bia Zanerato. Debinha down the left side. Emily Fox recovering. Good pace from Emily Fox there to get back into a decent position. Bia Zanerato over the top here. Debinha. Back it comes for Adriana. "12 goals in 41 caps for Adriana, who has just joined Orlando Pride, but that was nowhere close to being number 13 for her country. Dunn's ball forward. Morgan turning. Now Sullivan.
There's a perfect example of just taking a little bit off this game and saying, okay, let's take a breath. So much transition. Let's take a breath and just hold on to this ball for a little bit.
Last time the United States were here in Frisco, it was a 5-0 win against Iceland. It was in the She Believes Cup last year. Girma doing the defending here. Fox turns and plays it towards halfway. Brought down by Lavelle. Raffaelli finds Tamires. The foul on halfway from Caroline. with a challenge on Alex Morgan, and a yellow card coming here for Caroline. She's been all over the place in the opening 33 minutes, Caroline.
Great
Heavily
first
involved.
touch by Alex Morgan. And there is the foul on that. Such a good first touch to get away from pressure. Actually had Swanson running in right there, in behind. There she goes. Just couldn't quite get that ball under control.
Mallory Swanson scored 2 goals in that 5-0 win against Iceland the last time the US played here. She's the top scorer for the team so far this year, but hasn't had a look at goal through the opening 34 minutes. Fox. Horan backwards for Germer. Caroline making her third start of this tournament. She'll be heading to her first World Cup. This is Morgan turning just outside the box. Morgan with the strike.
Nice seam, nice turn by Morgan. Gets a hold of it on our favorite left foot, but really for Lorena, not much danger in that ball from that distance.
Turned back by Ari. Raffaelli. Across the back for Lauren. Raffaelli once again. Went to the University of Mississippi, drafted in the NWSL by Houston back in 2014. Germer's ball forward. Morgan with the turn on halfway, and again she feels the full force of a Brazilian challenge, and it's another free kick. Brazil making sure the US know they've been in a battle so far tonight. As we're 10 minutes from half-time. Sauerbrunn, done. Inside for Horan. Horan's ball for Laval. A reminder, the US will win the She Believes Cup with a draw, or a win, or even a 1-goal loss. If Brazil wins by more than that 1 goal, then they will lift the trophy, and they've got a free kick here. What do you think Vlatko Andonovski will want to see different or more of from his team here?
I think a little combination of, yes, there are moments we're going to go and we're going to transition and we're going to play, and then there are moments where we just need to slow it down and hold it, because what you see with Brazil is they're going to commit numbers to the ball, and if you can pull them in and suck them in with that overload of numbers defensively with their press, that weak side is wide open. But you got to pull them in a little bit, and you also got to give your players a little bit of time to get forward. So a balance of, yes, we want to go, we want to press, we want to be dynamic in that sense, but there's also moments where we got to take a little bit of this pace out of this game.
Well, all the stoppages are taking pace out right now. There's not much flow to this one. Adriana backwards for Raffaelli. Lauren.
We haven't said much with the wingers of Mal Swanson and Trinity Rodman. Really haven't been that engaged in the game. And that's the weak side ball that's on to both of them, if the US can quickly get it there.
This is Fox, under pressure quickly from Adriana. Sullivan, back for Fox. Forward it comes towards Morgan. But once again, the defending there from Raffaelli was able to get Brazil going in the opposite direction. Rodman. Caroline. Caroline just steps away from the first challenge. Now up against Sullivan. Turned round for Dabinia. Ari. Tamires. Laval couldn't quite get a touch to that one. Adriana has it. Very scrappy at the moment. And Caroline on the ball now, has space out to the right for Tainara. Swanson tracking across to try and close down as it comes inside there. Nicoli, and they'll look to get the cross into the middle. Challenge coming in there from Girma. The flag is up. Free kick here for the US. 7 minutes from half time.
And I think if you're Brazil, the conversation as well is something similar to what we've talked about with Japan, is that you've had some good looks. That pressure has paid off. So pick your poison in the second half, because you can't sustain that for 90 minutes. But then when you get in those positions, you've got to be more clinical. We've seen a couple looks, Caroline in particular, that Debinha had a look, that they just haven't been as sharp in front of goal as they need to be. But I do think Pia will be pleased with this half and the intensity that her team has brought. I mean, it's a scrappy, sometimes ugly game, and you got to find a way to fight through that.
Brazil have only lost 2 of their last 14 matches. Adriana from distance. They're having the better of the opportunities.
Yeah, and biting in again. Rose not able to get any pressure on her, and so Adriana trying to crack one. I mean, that's going to be a hard one to beat Nair from that distance unless you get a lot on it. But they certainly are getting their looks.
This is out for a US throw. Dunn looking to get things going quickly. And the referee will just move her backwards. She stole a few yards down that left touchline.
Maybe 10.
Dunn of the Portland Thorns in NWSL. Back to her Portland teammate Sauerbrunn across the back for Girma. And Fox. Sullivan. Through the middle for Lavelle. Nice turn from Rose Lavelle. Swanson is in space here on the edge of the box. Morgan's in the middle. Mallory Swanson, though, might try and have a go at goal herself. Pulled back all the way to the edge of the box. It's Rodman with a strike. And the foot in there from Tamirez was just enough to stop that one getting on goal. Now Sullivan with the challenge, and a free kick given against Andi Sullivan. She complains to the referee that she got the ball just when the US started to get some momentum. And now a yellow card shown to Sullivan.
With my naked eye, that seems awfully harsh. Here is the look. Swanson has to come back a little bit for that, but what a nice ball into the seam that is. Tamirez, as you pointed out, Luke, getting the block. Maybe her dragging her leg a little bit higher, but it looked like she did get some ball at first.
Yellow a little bit harsh there anyway on Andi Sullivan. Vlatko Andonovski said to us that this tournament has been very successful so far. Another different challenge tonight against Brazil, but his side has managed to overcome the challenges that have faced them in this tournament, especially against Japan. He said it's been another chance to evaluate some players ahead of the World Cup. New experiences and valuable minutes for some younger players as well. And he talked about the fact that the World Cup can be a grind, and some young players aren't used to that when they get there for the first time. So a tournament like this, where they play 3 games in the space of 7 days with different cities and the travel in between, and the US, with the ability to have charter flights as well, have been able to do things as they would in the World Cup and go through a lot of their processes. And he says that's helped the team a lot as they look towards what will come in New Zealand this coming summer.
Yeah, and just the fact that you're playing for something. It's not just 3 friendlies, it's a tournament. There's a winner in this. And all that grinding in minutes is leading to a final game where they have to win.
Coming up next, it is the She Believes Cup Volkswagen halftime show. 2.5 minutes plus whatever time is to be added on. And of course, throughout this tournament, for some of the players, it's been an opportunity to really force their way into Vlatko Andonovski's mind in terms of being on that 23-player roster for the World Cup. Plenty of decisions still to be made, with players coming back from some injuries as well. Nicolay dispossessed there by Sullivan, and this is done. Now Sauerbrunn. Germer. Someone like Emily Fox, who gets the ball here, has done herself the world of good with her performances so far this year, and that versatility of being able to play on either side as a fullback as well.
She's been so impressive as well, and a lot of young players getting those minutes is absolutely critical.
Done. Sauerbrunn. Here's Germer. Now Fox. Brazil with everybody back, well organised behind the ball defending as Morgan plays it out for Rodman down the right side. Horan. Raffaelli brings it forward for Brazil. Caroline. Raffaelli. Now Tamires. Given away towards Sullivan. Sullivan's first time ball through. Alex Morgan's in on goal, and the flag is up. Alex Morgan turns to celebrate and sees the assistant referee with the flag raised.
Oh, that's a heartbreaker, because that comes from the hard work of the press. And you see the United States going. There is the ball being played in. That is awfully close, and these are the ones where you go, really? Why are we calling this if it's really, it looks what should be even by a fingernail, maybe a finger? We of course can't go to VAR on these.
No VAR, only Canadian official Chantal Boudreau with a flag, and she decided it was offside, and that's why it's 0-0 as we head towards stoppage time. Almost a repeat of what we saw in Nashville, where it's an extremely difficult first half and then they get the goal right at the end of the half to change the complexion of the game. Deloitte stoppage time will be 3 minutes.
And what did that come off of? It comes off the press and them putting the press on Brazil and them coughing it up. They just haven't had enough success doing that, nor the willingness, I think, to do that more often. And I know this is a technical team, as Japan was, but sometimes that risk brings such reward, as we just saw there.
Well, Alex Morgan thought that was goal number 121. She's only one away now from 50 assists as well for her country. Assisted on goals for Mallory Swanson the last 2 games. The 2022 NWSL Golden Boot winner. She's already got 1 goal this year. Scored in New Zealand. It was her first goal since finding the net against Nigeria last September. Brazil down the left this time with Adriana. Well won by Rodman, and she'll get the free kick here for the challenge by Tamires. Fox will swing this one across to the left side. Sauerbrunn, done in an advanced position, up against Nicoli. Germer. Fox. Germer once again, the 22-year-old from San Jose. 2022 NWSL Rookie of the Year and Defender of the Year. Also in the CONCACAF W Championship Best 11, and she only made a US debut last April against Uzbekistan. Now just less than a year later, we're talking about her being a key part of the defence at the World Cup. Here she is once more. Sullivan. Lavelle. Lindsay Horan with space to drive forward, rolled through into the path of Mallory Swanson. Mallory Swanson turning, and then the block comes in from Lauren. Comes back towards Alex Morgan! A special finish from Alex Morgan in stoppage time at the end of the half. And the US have the lead.
A tip of the hat for Alex Morgan. She says, you're going to deny me on what is a close offside call. I'm going to get another look. And here they play the advantage on Rose Lavelle. Horan with the beautiful ball in. Swanson trying to find a window. And look at this touch. Wrapped around with her left foot. How nice is that? Exactly as she saw it. Seeing keepers out. If I can just whip it around Lorena. That is a nice goal. 1-0 for the United States.
Goal number 121 for Alex Morgan as it curls in past Lorena into stoppage time at the end of the half.
What a dagger for Brazil. They go in thinking 0-0 at halftime, right? They've had their looks. Now they go in saying, okay, what do we got here? You got to dig out of this hole because the U.S. knows they could even draw this game and still be okay. Lose 1-0. It's a big hole to dig out of for Brazil.
Let's go downstairs to Melissa.
Crystal, a late minute goal going into the halftime. What does that goal mean going into the second half?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's always great to score final minutes, obviously, of a first half. But, you know, for us, it's just staying committed. It's not our best half. We gave away some key balls, I think. But honestly, it's about resetting now and going on to the second half.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
So after 45 minutes of play, the United States find themselves in front. What a lovely finish from Alex Morgan. 1-0 the score in Frisco, Texas. The United States leading 1-0 against Brazil at halftime. Brazil making 2 changes. Ana Vitória and JC coming in. The 2 players to leave the game. Debinha, who has Brazil's only goal at this tournament in the 1-0 win in Orlando against Japan, and Nicoli as well. JC has caused problems already in the opening game of the She Believes Cup against Japan. We'll see if she can impact this game in the second half as they look to find a way back in. It was Alex Morgan with a wonderful finish right at the end of the half, almost the last touch of the first 45 minutes after the US had endured some difficult moments and Brazil had caused them some problems. But as it was in Nashville at the weekend, the US find a way to get the job done, and they go in at half-time with the advantage. Crystal Dunn is still on the pitch, which means it's the first time since October of 2021 that she has played more than 45 minutes. So Dunn, who returned last fall, is now starting to get those minutes a little higher. The first time since coming back that Vlatko Andonovski has been able to keep her on after half-time.
Yeah, and that's a great sign for Crystal Dunn because she has been fighting to build that minute base.
Swanson's ball into the middle, flicked away by Raffaelli. Lavelle in possession. And here come Brazil racing forward on the counter-attack as it's played out towards that left side. Petrana's ball finding JC the substitute. Sauerbrunn going back towards Alyssa Nair. Here's Zanerato putting some pressure on here. JC now quickly closing down Gurma and out of play for a goal kick. Let's catch up with Melissa, who's been with Vlatko Andonovski.
At halftime, Vlatko told me that the players are doing well finding good spaces in between the lines, but they need that next one, that one final pass. They need to time their runs better and find better angles. They're right there, but they need to be just more precise.
Raffaelli's ball through the middle. Ari back towards Raffaelli. Here's Lauren. Inside by Tainara, closed down by Horan, but Caroline able to find a way forward. That ball going all the way out towards Tamirez on the left side. The first time crossing towards the middle. Bea Zanerato was climbing. She got over the top of Sauerbrunn and onto the ball, but Nair is able to get this quickly down the left side for Lindsey Horan, who will just keep it in play. Nudges it inside to Swanson as Caroline was chasing, and Swanson's ball is aimed towards that far side. Couldn't quite pick out Rodman. And Lauren's ball downfield doesn't reach its intended target. One back by Swanson. Once again, the referee's whistle goes. This time, Swanson with a foul on Ari.
Yeah, and I think, again, we saw this earlier with Andi Sullivan. I think that's a little harsh. You're gonna let them play. They're gonna rough and tumble a little bit. Let it play a little bit more.
Rodman through to Lavelle, picked up by Ari in the midfield for Brazil. Caroline. Sullivan trying to break up play, but played up towards JC. JC, who came on at half-time, 24-year-old from Barcelona.
6 goals this year for Barcelona.
Got her first senior goal in the She Believes Cup in 2021 against Argentina in Orlando. And here's an opportunity for the strike from distance. It rattles the crossbar. Comes back out here towards Pia Zanerato. Horan with the block. Hammered away there by Dunn. Only as far as Caroline. Back it comes here. Adriana with the strike. Tainara. Anna Vittoria. Ari plays it inside. Adriana's crossing towards the back post, and it's turned around the corner by Emily Fox.
Oh, and look at Adriana getting all of this. Smacking that crossbar. Nair fully extended, didn't even have it covered, fully extended. Unlucky for Adriana, but some momentum for Brazil.
Tamiros will take it towards that penalty spot. Glanced away there. Emily Fox getting good distance on the header, but this one will come straight back forward from Caroline. Let's take a look at our AT&T 5G netcam.
And you can see that just rattled the bar, rattled that whole goal. Got all of that one. Kissing that crossbar in air, I'm sure.
Alyssa Nair will take this. 52 clean sheets. 9 She Believes Cup clean sheets in her US career. So looking to get to double figures here tonight. Morgan giving chase as the keeper Lorena comes a long way to get there. Brought down by Emily Fox on halfway. Rodman turns that one forward for Lavelle. Rodman continues to run down the right side, and it's just too far in front. Rodman again. Free kick given against Rose Lavelle. Lavelle back in the side tonight. Made 6 appearances at the World Cup in 2019. Of course, scored that goal in the final against the Netherlands. And Vlatko Andonovski said they would check in on Rose Lavelle at half-time. They would hope to get 45, potentially 60, depending how she was feeling.
It's a good sign that she's still playing, isn't it?
Well, he'd have been happy with 45, wouldn't he?
Minor muscle strain, and they were really being obviously cautious about it.
Ball pulled back towards the 6-yard box. Swanson will try and get there.
But Rose pushed it a bit and said, listen, I want to get some minutes. I want to play. It feels fine.
Helps it through for Lavelle. Now Fox. Well, it would have been a huge loss for Rose Lavelle if she hadn't played during this window, having started those 2 games in New Zealand. Especially with the next window not being until April. When, as Sarah said at half-time, there's that report of the 2 games against Ireland.
And 2 goals and 2 assists in New Zealand as well. I mean, that's a start to 2023. You want that momentum to keep going.
And she played so well in those 2 games, albeit against a lower opposition. Swanson down the left side, whips that cross into the middle. It's tipped behind. Alex Morgan had got a touch to it and forced Lorena to make the save.
You see the smile. You see the smile on Alex Morgan's face, because that's behind her. She's reaching for it. Oh, that would have been a beauty if it snuck in the upper V.
Swanson will take the corner. What a moment that would have been. And the first goal was pretty nice. That would have been even more spectacular. Swanson's ball in towards the back post. Horan meets it in the air. Sauerbrunn tries to get there. Still bouncing around in the box. Lavelle took a swing. And all the way out towards Fox. Thought for a moment that would be her first goal, Becky Sauerbrunn, as it just dropped there, hammer it in. Horan back into the box.
I already had visions of celebrations going through my mind for her. She's talked about that.
She scored 1 goal last year in the NWSL, Becky Sauerbrunn. 214 appearances for the United States. Here she is, yet to find a goal. May as well save it for the World Cup at this point.
I did once say to her, just take a penalty kick. Why don't you just say, give me the ball? Give me the ball. She goes, no, I'm not going to do that. I was like, I would have.
Around forward
nice.
For Lavelle. Lavelle switching play for Crystal Dunn. Can she keep this one in at the byline? Oh, she has. She did really well, Crystal Dunn. Now what about the cross as it's in towards the 6-yard box? Brazil able to get it away. And Sauerbrunn is underneath this one. Fox. Horan. Horan again. Lavelle forward towards Swanson.
All very good ideas by the United States, and a little more patience. Lavelle touch that just has a little too much sauce on that one.
A few more spaces opening up though for the US. After a very disciplined, organized Brazil made it difficult in the first 45. Here come Brazil though, going in the opposite direction. Jaycee, the halftime substitute, chipping it forward. Bia Zanerato isn't able to get there. Headed out of play by Tainara, who joined Bayern last year after a brief spell with Bordeaux. Made her senior debut in Orlando in the She Believes Cup a couple of years ago. Done with the throw. Sullivan. Here's Fox. Right now this scoreline would see the US win the She Believes Cup.
And as predicted and as expected as well, obviously Brazil is not going to be able to sustain the pace and numbers they were putting around the ball defensively and the pressure. And how the US now deals with this lower mid-block is going to be interesting.
Swanson forward, gets that cross in towards the edge of the area. Adriana will turn. Rodman chasing back to try and win it back, and she gives away the free kick. Bit of frustration from the US players about some of the calls coming here, but they've got to get back quickly because Brazil have taken this with speed. Caroline driving forward deep into the heart of the US half, rolls it forward for Jaycee, back to the path of Caroline. Caroline still going here. It's a corner.
Caroline showing her pace and ability. Flies right by Sullivan. Nice ball into Jaycee. Gets it back. I don't know how she kept with this ball. It's like the little engine that could. And it just kept falling at her feet. Surprised herself, I'm sure, to see it at her feet.
We're going to see Marta coming into the game very shortly. And she'll be replacing Ari, but not before the Racing Louisville player takes this corner. The delivery into the box headed clear by Lindsey Horan. Swanson chasing to try and get there. She got knocked off the ball in the challenge by Caroline. To be fair, she didn't really complain. She got straight back up.
I just don't know how you can give Andi Sullivan a yellow and then that happens and there's nothing called myself.
Ari down the right side. Out it goes for a throw.
Here's another look at it. That's clearly a foul. It's not a yellow card, but it's a foul.
And here comes Marta, the 6-time FIFA World Player of the Year. Just back from an ACL injury, which she picked up in March of last year. 10 career goals against the US for Marta.
122 career goals in total. And what a player this is. So great to see her back out on the field after a year-long absence, almost a year long. She came back in that first game here at the She Believes Cup and quickly made her mark within a couple minutes, assisting to Debinha on their goal that would win that game. And what a player Marta has been for decades.
She scored goals at 5 World Cups. Vlatko Andonovski getting set to go to his bench. Lynn Williams and Emily Sonnett will be coming in, but there's a free kick here once again. Well, Marta is standing over it. Played 22 minutes against Japan, 31 against Canada, so this the most minutes we'll have seen from Marta since her comeback. Scored a couple of goals against the US in the World Cup in 2011, also in 2007. 1-0 the score, the goal in first half stoppage time from Morgan. Marta with a wonderful delivery, headed away by Horan. And Caroline will chase across to the far side. And Caroline's done really well there to get into the box against Rodman. Caroline!
Caroline, like a one-person show right now, getting to every single ball. Doesn't seem even 60 minutes in almost that her speed has been affected, her fatigue is minimal.
Caroline having a magnificent game in towards that penalty spot. Back in by Adriana Sauerbrunn and then cleared by Fox. Sullivan underneath it, and she was fouled by Jacey.
Here's the Caroline save at the at the sideline, and gets in line. Wins herself a corner kick.
Here's the double change. And having gone 45 minutes in her first few appearances of the year, Crystal Dunn will make way, and Trinity Rodman is also coming out of the game to replace by Lynn Williams. Sonnett for Dunn in that left-back role.
And I think Dunn's going to be pleased with those 60 minutes, as we were talking about building that base as she comes back from pregnancy. And I think Trinity Rodman has definitely shown she can impact games. She's got the creativity, the flair to do that. We talked about it in the last game. I still think that final pass, that final decision-making is something she can get better with. And as we just saw in the quarter against Caroline, that defensive presence as well. And I know it's tough when you find a forward in your own box having to defend a very fast midfielder. But she's 20 years old. I mean, so much upside to this player. The youngest on the team.
Well, Tainara is going to make way, and it will be Bruninia coming in. Bruninia didn't play against Canada, having played the full 90 in the opening game against Japan. Plays for Gotham. Moved there from Santos last August.
Replaced by number 2, Bruna. Substitution in the 62nd minute.
Nair will go short for Sonnett down the left side. Sonnett getting another opportunity, having come on at half-time in both of the previous games. It's her 4th substitute appearance of the year. The game she played in New Zealand was her first appearance for club or country since July, when she got injured in that W Championship game, when she also scored her first goal for the US. And now Rose Lavelle racing forward towards the edge of the area. It's slipped in here, and the shot from Swanson. It's 2-0 for the US, and it's another goal for Mallory Swanson. Seven goals in 2023 for Swanson, and we've not even finished February.
And 7th goal in 5 games. And again, it starts with Lynn Williams defensively winning that back. Rose Lavelle driving that center back pairing into the middle, which opens up that lane for Swanson. And Lorena getting beat on that near post. No goalkeeper ever wants to get beat on that near side, but Swanson taking a look calmly and coolly, and it's that Rose driving dribble that pulls all of that space for Swanson. Rapinoe lifting her hand before it even left Swanson's foot.
Supreme confidence.
Thank you very much. That's a goal. Cha-ching. That's a good shot.
Appearance 87 for Mallory Swanson. That's goal number 32. She scored 1 in Nashville against Japan. She scored a brace against Canada. In the opening game of this tournament, it was her 5th career brace. The 2nd time this year she scored 2 in a game. And having set a new career high last year with 7 goals in 2022 for the US, she ties that in the first 2 months and 5 games of this World Cup year. Laid through here for Alex Morgan. This could be number 3. Morgan across goal.
And this is where the U.S. gets so good in these final 20, 30 minutes. Here is another look at that. Lorena just covering too much in the middle of that goal, and Swanson has the recognition to see that. And Rapinoe gladly there to celebrate with her.
Mallory Swanson making history, becoming the first player to score in all 3 games at the same She Believes Cup, and she is now the outright all-time leading scorer in this tournament. She'd been tied with Megan Rapinoe for 7, but that's 8 She Believes Cup goals for Mallory Swanson of Chicago Red Stars.
And 4 of the 5 that they've scored here in these 3 games. And that's the thing about Swanson that's different. That's the next level she's gotten to, is that she doesn't need as many looks. She said it was a personal goal coming into this year too. When I get my looks, I want to finish them. And she is doing all of that.
And she's now scored in 6 straight games for the US. Sonnet will take the throw, and all of a sudden things look completely in control now for Vlatko Andonovski's side.
Got 2 minutes. Need another run, take another run.
But 2-0 doesn't exactly tell the story of this game. Raffaelli out to the far side. We're going to see Sanchez coming in soon for the US, presumably for Rose Lavelle, who has got to the midway mark in the 2nd half, and she's still out there, having missed the first couple of games with a minor muscle strain. Vlatko Andonovski not wanting to take any real chances.
Got an assist as well. Should be pleased with that.
That's her 3rd of the year. Here's Caroline. Caroline gliding past Lavelle, but no one ahead. Fox in for Sullivan. This point, with a little over 20 minutes remaining, seems as if the US will be lifting a trophy at the end of the night. will be a 4th straight She Believes Cup title for the US, who won all 3 games in 2020 and 2021, and last year had 7 points from the 3 matches. Double change coming up. Swanson will be leaving the game, and Lavelle as well. Adriana turning. Swanson back there to break up play. Forward it goes for Rose Lavelle. Williams racing forward down the right side. Lavelle tried to play that one through the middle.
Sir Luke, we were talking about the efficiency of Mal Swanson in front of goal, and so of course I texted Paul Carr. I said, how many shots to how many goals for 2023? 7 goals on 13 shots this year.
Not a bad strike rate.
Oh my word. That's a good strike rate right there. Bucket lister. Too late?
JC down the right side here. Zanerato. Adriana. Cross for Caroline. All the way out towards Tamirez on the far side. The cross headed away by Andy Sullivan. Lavelle gets it away. Adriana rolling it in towards the edge of the box, and Swanson looks to bring this one clear. Swanson racing forward. She's fouled. It's a free kick. And a yellow card, surely.
And here's the other attribute of Mal Swanson we haven't talked enough of. She's so hard to slow down as the minutes tick by. She actually seems to get faster as the other opponents get more fatigued. Mal Swanson just rises to a different level.
Well, it's been quite a tournament. It's been quite a year already, but She Believes Cup for Mallory Swanson to remember.
That was the first goal. What a strike that was. Then the misplayed ball by Gio. Swanson there to clean that one up. Oh, and then this beauty against Japan, totally against the run of play right before halftime. And then, of course, this one tonight, the Rose Lavelle pass beats Lorena to the near post. 4 goals in this tournament alone.
So here's the question, and we'll revisit this in December in the final international window of the year. How many goals will Mallory Swanson get in 2023? She's already at 7.
The over-under?
Yeah.
I hate to do this to her. It better be 700. Come on.
Well,
on that strike rate, think about that. If she only took 900 shots, she'd make about 700.
They've scored 13 or 14 goals now this year, and she's got 7. Not a bad place to be. Half of the team's goal-scoring production so far through 5 games of the year. And the US yet to concede in 2023. As Anna Victoria tried to get there, but Sonnet will play it down the left side. Megan Rapinoe inside towards Lindsay Horan, who gets around Caroline. Williams is away on that right side. It comes for Sullivan, and she'll look down the left instead. And Megan Rapinoe will be able to get onto the end of this after it went off Bruninia's foot. Rapinoe's ball in all the way to the back post. Comes towards Lindsay Horan, who pulls it back for Lynn Williams. Williams now. Morgan couldn't get there. Dispossessed by Tamirez. Sullivan going across to close things down on the far side. Back for Caroline. Picked up by Anna Victoria. Well inside the final 20 minutes now here in Frisco, Texas. Jaycee has it. Good feet from Jaycee. Finds Bruninia. Substitute rolling it forward. Jesse at the byline, drawing that one in, and it goes out off Germa for a corner for Brazil.
Those are such difficult balls to deal with when they're coming at that pace. How often we see defenders running back towards their own goal, putting it in their own net.
Swung in and claimed by Nair from Marta's corner. She just got a knock as that one came in. Lauren is down. The defender who plays in Spain. Lauren, one of the younger players in the Brazil squad who played in the Under-20 World Cup last year.
Ugh, hate to see that. How Nair even held on to that ball is beyond me. But that's clear head-to-head there.
So after this, there are the 2 games in the April window, which are being reported to be against Ireland. And then the send-off game in July.
And that's it. I know, that's the crazy thing. No May-June windows, and so you're going to have a crop of players coming back from injury, possibly after those 2 windows. So really, it's going to be NWSL, their professional leagues they're playing in, that they're going to have to go to watch. And there's not even a game to evaluate them before you have your roster send-off.
Let's go downstairs. Melissa.
It has been quite the aggressive game, and it doesn't surprise me from the Brazilian side. Lindsey Horan is quite showing it and telling the ref, hey, we're getting slammed every single time. Come on, ref. So she's definitely not happy how the referee is calling and the aggressive side of this Brazilian team.
Yeah, and for obvious reasons, the last thing you want to do for either team is walk out of this with some added injuries, because we know the list is long for the United States. Kat Macario slated to return in April. Sophia Smith, of course, is training with Portland right now with a foot issue, but she, if this had been a World Cup tournament, would have been here. Tierna Davidson is back. Casey Kruger, Kelly O'Hara, Kristen Press, Tobin Heath maybe able to get back in time.
Alex Morgan gets on the end of this one inside the box. Morgan stands in up back post over the top of Williams as Christy Mewis and Taylor Korniak get set to come in. Here's Zanerato charging forward. JC turning. Cleared away by Sauerbrunn. It drops for Sullivan. Lewis got the start at the weekend in Nashville. Will come on for the final 15 minutes or so. Sauerbrunn. Germa. It's that double change coming. Korniak's been used the last couple of games to just come on as a player that can help close out a tight match, especially with her aerial ability. We saw her come on against Japan at the weekend and immediately win a defensive header. Nair's ball forward. Drops for Sanchez, who came off the bench to replace Lavelle. Sanchez has Williams out to the right side. It's Lynn Williams up against Tamirez. Williams cutting inside. Sullivan and Morgan, the 2 players we're told that will be making way when this double change happens for Vlatko Andonovski.
Oh.
Horan. Now Sanchez. Sanchez slides that one through. Williams trying to get on the end of it. Raffaelli turns it away. Back for Megan Rapinoe. Here's Tamirez bringing it away, the 35-year-old defender. Marta. Tamirez. Now Raffaelli. Bruninho. Andy Sullivan stepping in well to win it back. Rapinoe plays that ball across, but it's picked up here in the midfield by Adriana. Got support to the left side, and Marta is in the middle, but that's well defended by Emily Fox there against Pia Zanerato. Only clears away though as far as Adriana. Back it comes for Tamirez. Caroline all the way across for Bruninho. Bruninho's ball swung in. Up in the air from Sauerbrunn. Marta just ready, waiting for that one to drop, but Sonic gets it further clear. Rapinoe helps that on again. Anna Vittoria. Bruninho. Goals for Morgan and Swanson have the US on top tonight as it goes out to the far side from Adriana. Back it comes here for Raffaelli. Now Lauren. Bruninho. Lindsay Horan trying to win it back as Jesse puts that one out of play. Sonnet, Rapinoe. Now Horan towards Rapinoe once again. Lovely play against Bruninho, and Rapinoe plays that one through the middle. Lynn Williams is charging forward. Lorena came a long way there, the keeper. And now Caroline gets away from Sanchez. And that's a free kick.
What a beauty of a ball that was. Nice little touch by Rapinoe to beat that pressure and then play that bent ball in the back line. Lorena, woo, danger. Coming out that far, you got to get to that with the pace of Lynn Williams next to you.
Let's go downstairs to Melissa.
If you can see, the players of the U.S. Women's National Team are wearing purple tape around their wrists to continue to raise awareness in issues of equality. This is in support, of course, of the Canadian team who are fighting against the Federation and their recent budget cuts. Canada releasing a statement that the players will continue to wear purple until the association has standards in place that ensure equal treatment and opportunity. Now, I've dealt with this as a player. I've certainly fought for equal treatment and fair treatment from the Colombian Federation. And Julie, you were one of the pioneers. What are your thoughts on this and how the players are continuing to support each other globally, just like they're wearing the purple wristbands?
Yeah, and all standing shoulder to shoulder because they've all fought it. We've all lived it, right? We've talked about that. England was wearing purple bracelets in their recent game. And the thing is it's not just Canada, as we know. Look at this Brazil team, for example. We were talking to Pia Sunaga yesterday about their challenges. She said, listen, we're not just fighting for equal pay. We're just fighting for equal treatment. It's that hard. I can't get schedules. She said, I came from the U.S. Soccer and Sweden Federation.
Edge of the box. The shot coming in is well dealt with there by Alyssa Nea as Brazil look to try and get one back. And that's out for a corner.
And this is where good save by Nair. Again, outstretched to get on the end of this. And this is where Brazil would really like to make some strides as well in their set piece category.
Marta's delivery towards the front post. It's cleared away by Sonnet of Mewis.
Yeah, so Pia was saying yesterday, hey, listen, it's hard enough. I came from U.S. Soccer, from Sweden, where we knew our schedule, we knew our programming. I can't get any of that stuff, and I'm just trying to set a legacy of, can we at least get some organization to this federation? And that, as a player who played for Sweden for so many years, who's fought the fight for so many years, and you look at the players that have to also constantly fight this fight, it shouldn't always come down to the players, and it ends up just driving you bonkers that we're still in this position because too many federations are unwilling to support and fund these players.
Julie, I absolutely agree with you on that. And in my fight against the Colombian Federation, we had to deal with so many factors, and this is one of the things that could affect how you play. Now, one of the things I want to note is that Brazil doesn't have the wristbands. Japan did, Canada did, U.S. Women's National Team. So that definitely raises questions how we are as South American nations. Maybe it's a fear factor. You're putting yourself on the line as players, as coaches, as staff sometimes, and that's something you have to think about when trying to fight for equal standards.
Yeah, I even heard reports staff weren't getting paid, so they had some staff who didn't come to this tournament in protest for Brazil.
Williams cutting in off that right flank as she looked for Sanchez, the ball into the middle. Haran. This is Sauerbruch. Sanchez with the cross into the middle. Korniak was the player furthest forward there, but couldn't get on the end of it. She's pretty much playing up top now as a replacement there for Alex Morgan, having come off the bench. Derma going backwards here to Alyssa Nair, with a little under 7 minutes of the 90 remaining here in Frisco. As part of US Soccer's commitment to empower young women and girls, the 2023 She Believes Summit will take place on March the 11th and 12th in Westlake, Texas. A two-day event featuring speakers from sports, business and beyond. And you can learn more about this incredible event by visiting ussoccer.com/shebelieves/summit.
Yeah, it's a fantastic event if you can make it. And that's the thing I've loved beyond just this having the She Believes Cup, but you have the summit, you also have this She Champions coaching mentorship program happening right now. You got all these old national teamers who are coaching at the collegiate level, professional level, coming back, mentoring coaches of all levels.
Rapinoe's throw forward for Korniak, and it's a good save in the end by Lorena, who stood up tall as Taylor Korniak was through on goal with a chance to try and get her third career goal.
Great throw in by Megan Rapinoe. Quick restart. Korniak almost slipping through there. Lorena doing well to come out, make herself big.
Across comes Rapinoe to take it. One more change coming for Brazil. Ludmila is going to be coming in. Rapinoe's ball in towards the back post. Haran takes a swing at it, comes back out for Sonnet. Haran turning and gets the free kick just on the edge of the box. I think some of the fans think it's a penalty, but this was right on the edge of the area.
Here's that touch that just takes her outside. Good call by the referee. Clearly outside the penalty box.
2-0 inside the final 5 minutes. The US already with a 2-0 win against Canada and a 1-0 win against Japan in this She Believes Cup.
Making their fifth change in the substitution.
Here's Zanerato leaving the game. And Ludmila coming in.
That Zanerato
Substitution
made an impact in this game tonight. Caused some fits for that back line in midfield for the United States.
Lindsay Haran and Megan Rapinoe standing over the free kick here. Lindsay Haran will take it. Out of play for a throw. Ludmila coming in. She plays for Atletico Madrid in Spain. Leads their scoring with 9 goals in 14 games this season. Rapinoe's throw in towards Korniak. Cleared away as far as Sonnet. Rapinoe once again. Korniak. Across it goes for Emily Fox. Haran through towards Megan Rapinoe, and Raffaelli quickly across to put it out of play. She Believes Cup on TNT and HBO Max is brought to you by Volkswagen, presenting partner of US Soccer. It's been a tournament where the USA has faced 3 teams inside the top 11 in the FIFA rankings. This ball played through for Sanchez. Pulled back for Korniak. Time now for our Deloitte Woman of the Match.
And perhaps it comes as no surprise. Mallory Swanson taking the honors again. I think Alex Morgan also would make a good argument for that one if they co-Woman of the Matched it. Great goal by Alex Morgan right before half to turn this game around. And really, it has been a tale of two halves, hasn't it, Luke? This second half much better for the United States. Not the same sustained pressure by Brazil. They seem to have tired a bit.
Well, you said first half. The question is how long they can keep that level of intensity going. And they will have been hit hard by that goal right at the end of the first half. 17,784 in attendance here in Frisco, Texas tonight. There are the two goal scorers. Morgan in stoppage time at the end of the half. Mallory Swanson in the second half, becoming the first player to score in all three games in this tournament in the same year. Out to Tamirez on the left side. The fans in Frisco will get to see their team lift a trophy at the end of this one. Here's Megan Rapinoe. Rapinoe towards Sanchez on the edge of the box. Marta was asking the referee why that wasn't a free kick in Brazil's favor.
I do like Korniak in that higher position and their ability to play Ashley Sanchez and her kind of next to each other. Double 9.
Well, this is the 8th all-time She Believes Cup. It will be the 6th time the United States have won it. They still haven't lost a game since 2017. Bruniña's crossing towards Ludmila on the back post. And Brazil have one back right at the end. And finally the US give up a goal in this World Cup year, and it's the substitute Ludmila who has it.
No pressure on the ball. Haran is on that far side. Ludmila on the far side. Nair trying to get to it, catches herself off the line, can't quite get to it. Ludmila did very well to head it back across goal. Bruniña with a beautiful ball in, making it difficult for Nair to get to. And the U.S. is not going to be pleased with that. They take a lot of pride in trying to get that shutout. First goal of this tournament, actually first goal of this year for the United States. But they're going to look at that in the 90th minute and go, we got to be cleaner than that in the final stages of the game.
Deloitte stoppage time is 3 minutes here. The US finally giving up a goal this year. First time they've been scored against in the She Believes Cup since March of 2020. Japan's goal in a 3-1 US win right here in Frisco. Now Brazil think they might have a chance to try and get a draw from this game, which still would see the US win. Jesse, back for Marta. Marta out to the right side for Bruniña, looking in for Ludmila once again. And Karma with a vital intervention to head it away, just as Ludmila was about to knock it home. What a finish this is turning out to be from Brazil.
And Ludmila looked in a perfect position. Germa with that last-minute saving clearance with her head.
Box away towards halfway. Little over a minute left to be played. Brazil with plenty of bodies forward. And Raffaelli will play it in towards Adriana. Back it comes for Lauren. Free kick coming here with pretty much what will be the last action of the game. And Marta standing over it from a deep position as Brazil send everybody forward. Lorena, the keeper, is almost up towards halfway. I think she thought about coming, but she's going to wait there. Marta will swing it in, deep towards the back post. Sauerbrunn steps in, Sanchez gets it clear, Fox is down hurt, having got the initial challenge. And the referee is stopping the clock to allow maybe some treatment here. Fox back to her feet, but Adriana is in. So just a few more seconds still to be played. Marta's throw.
Dropping Korniak back to help with that aerial ball.
Everyone back behind the ball defending right now.
That Lynn Williams is the sole 9. Everyone dropping. Good exercise actually for the United States.
Here's Marta going long, straight through to Alyssa Nair. She'll fall on the ball, and that should be it. Goals from Alex Morgan and Mallory Swanson. And the US winners here in Frisco by 2-1. 3 straight wins to claim the 2023 She Believes Cup. And Vlatko Andonovski will have checked a lot of boxes. What he wanted to achieve during this week in this tournament in terms of the bigger picture building up to the World Cup this summer.
Absolutely, and he's going to say so many good things that came out of this, and also things to work on. Closing out games, as we just saw. Consistency over those 90 minutes. The press, I mean, all these things are great to build on, but I do think a lot of positives, and most importantly, you got yourself some hardware. In a tournament that mattered, you're able to grind through it and replicate what could be a mini version of that World Cup.
It finishes in Frisco with a 2-1 victory for the US against Brazil to wrap up the She Believes Cup for 2020.